This is problem number 4 for assessment number 5. And this problem, it says solve the quadratic equation, and they give you a quadratic with the leading coefficient of -3. Because we have a leading coefficient of -3, I'm probably going to use the quadratic equation to solve this. I'm going to skip the factoring because usually I don't want to factor unless a, or the leading coefficient, is 1. So I'm obviously not going to complete the square because of the leading coefficient being different than 1 as well. So I'm going to go with quadratic equation to start. So what is the quadratic equation? So the quadratic equation is x equals -b plus and minus the root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'm going to start by identifying what a, b, and c are. So a is -3, b is -4, and c is 1. And then I'm going to start plugging those into this equation. So I get x equals -b would be -4 plus and minus the root of -4 squared minus 4 times a, which is -3, times c, which is 1. And that's all over 2 times a, which a is -3. So I end up with x equals 4 plus and minus the root of 16. This will end up with plus 12, so 16 plus 12, all over -6. And then I'm going to go ahead and add these together. That gives you 4 plus and minus root 16 and 12 is 28 over -6. So I can write this as x equals 4 plus root 28 over -6, or 4 minus root 28 over -6. Now, if you look at this root 28, we can actually break root 28 down and pull something out of this radical. We can break root 28 down to root 4 times root 7. Root 4 times root 7 is root 28, and we know that root 4 is just 2. So this ends up being 2 root 7. So root 28 is 2 root 7, so I can replace each of these with 4 plus 2 root 7. And you can do this with any radical, break it down into separate radicals that you can, or separate terms that you can essentially take the root of any squares that you have in there, any square factors. So this is 4 plus 2 root 7 over -6, and then you have or 4 minus 2 root 7 over -6. We're going to split each of these, so we end up with -4 over 6 plus, this will be -2 root 7 over 6, and we get or -4 over 6. And this will be, instead of a plus, or instead of a negative, this will be a positive, so plus because of the two negatives, 2 root 7 over 6. So I end up with -2/3. This can cancel, so it gives you a minus root 7 over 3, or -2/3, and this will be plus root 7 over 3.